Today, let's talk about ancient Greece and figure out what it was really all about. When people think of ancient Greece, they probably think of Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. These figures actually belong to the classical period of ancient Greece. But, of course, great philosophers and thinkers appeared all over the world. The origins of Greek civilization, however, go far earlier than this period. Greece is considered the cradle of European civilization, located in the southeastern corner of Europe. And the earliest beginnings of Greek civilization were also in this southeastern corner, on the island of Crete. Why there? Simply because it was closest to the true cradles of civilization, Egypt and the Mesopotamian region. Around 2700 BCE, the earliest Greek civilization emerged, known as the Minoan civilization. In Greek mythology, Minos was the king of Crete. He caught the attention of Zeus, and with Europa, had a son. Minos' son became even more famous, Minotaur, the bull-headed monster who lived in a labyrinth. Many depictions of the Minotaur in modern games are based on this myth. Why was Minos' son a bull-headed man? According to myth, during a struggle for the throne, he borrowed a bull from Poseidon to prove he was the rightful heir and promised to sacrifice it. But after becoming king, he thought the bull was too beautiful and offered a different one instead, angering Poseidon. The god then made Minos' wife fall in love with the bull, and the Minotaur was born. Of course, this story is myth, but the Minoan civilization did exist. The Minoan civilization was a Bronze Age culture, heavily reliant on trade. They combined local tin with copper from Cyprus to make bronze, which they then traded for agricultural products from other regions. Archaeologists have found many Minoan palaces scattered across Crete, suggesting that early Minoan society may have been a coalition of villages or small city-states. Later, however, a single large palace was built, indicating the possible emergence of a unified ruler, akin to a king. Another notable feature of the Minoan civilization was the relatively high status of women. Excavated sculptures often depict goddesses rather than gods in religious ceremonies, and wall paintings show women playing prominent roles in daily life. For example, one recreational activity depicted in the murals is bull leaping, where people would leap over bulls, possibly one of the few forms of entertainment available at the time. By around 1500 BCE, the Minoan civilization declined, mainly for two reasons. First, natural disasters. Nearby Mount Thera erupted, causing tsunamis that destroyed ports and residential areas. Volcanic ash blocked the sun, damaging crops and causing famine. For a trade-dependent civilization like the Minoans, this was devastating. Following the natural disasters, human factors also came into play. This brings us to another major ancient Greek civilization, the Mycenaean civilization. Mycenaeans were closer to the classical Greek civilization we often think of. Their main city, Mycenae, was located on the Peloponnese Peninsula in mainland Greece, just north of the Minoan civilization. Taking advantage of the Minoans' weakened state after the volcanic disaster, the Mycenaeans invaded Crete and replaced the Minoans. The Minoans used Linear A script, which has not been deciphered, whereas the Mycenaeans used Linear B, which was successfully deciphered a few decades ago. These records reveal two major features of Mycenaean civilization. First, they were highly militaristic, valuing battlefield honor as a way to rise in social rank. Second, their society was highly stratified, with peasants oppressed by royalty and nobility, a structure resembling later European social orders, unlike the small, relatively peaceful communities of the Minoans. Due to social tensions and external invasions, the Mycenaean civilization declined after several centuries of prosperity. The following period, roughly 1200 BCE to 800 BCE, is known as the Greek Dark Ages. Why the Dark Ages? Cities disappeared mysteriously, populations declined, settlements shrank, famine was common, literacy was lost, and the elaborate designs on pottery were replaced by simple geometric patterns. Contact with the outside world nearly vanished. Yet, during this dark period, one of the greatest works in Greek literary history was born, the Homeric epics. Around the 9th to 8th centuries BCE, a blind poet named Homer compiled the oral traditions of the Trojan War into over a dozen epic poems, of which only two survive today, the Iliad and the Odyssey. The Iliad tells the story of the final year, or even the final weeks, of the Trojan War. It recounts how Agamemnon, the king of the Greek coalition, took a slave girl from Achilles, angering him and causing him to withdraw from battle. After Achilles' friend was killed by Hector, Achilles returned to the battlefield, fought Hector in a duel, and killed him. That's essentially the story. The Odyssey recounts the journey home of the hero Odysseus after Troy fell. Because of his arrogance, the gods punished him, and he wandered at sea for 10 years, using his intelligence to overcome numerous dangers before finally returning home to reunite with his wife and son. Although these epics represent only a fraction of Greek mythology, they laid the foundation for Greek literature and Western civilization. As for the complete Greek mythological system and its profound influence on Western culture, we'll explore that next time.